Very good morning to all of you. Today I want to start session 8 of module 2. Title of module 2 is foundation settlements. So this is the second phase of module 2. Earlier class we have discussed about shearing strength or stress distribution in soils. And for this foundation settlements, course outcome is understanding of stress distribution and resulting settlements below the loaded footings on sand and clay soils. So this is the course outcome. Subject title is applied geotechnical engineering. Subject code is 18 CV62. In 6th semester comes under civil engineering department. These are the contents. Today's class, these are the contents are there. I want to explain in details all these contents. Types of settlements. In that, elastic settlements, consolidation settlements, differential settlement, immediate settlement, secondary settlement, total settlement, and Bureau of Indian Standard specifications, that is BIS specifications for total and differential settlements of footings and rafts. So these contents today I want to cover in session 8 in details. Okay. Concept of the settlements. Okay. The term settlement is used to describe the vertical displacement of the base of a structure. The term settlement is used to describe the vertical displacement of the base of a structure. The effects of settlement depend only on its magnitude, but also on its degree of uniformity and on the nature of the engineering works affected. Settlement which is practically uniform over the whole area occupied by a building will probably not be objectionable. Okay. This is also referred to as in distortion settlements or contact settlements. Okay. On the other hand, differential settlement of parts of a structure is likely to cause cracks, which may be tolerated in some types of construction but in others. The more rigid the constructions, the more serious are the effects of differential settlements. Okay, so practically, after construction of the buildings or during the construction of the buildings, the more rigid the constructions, the more serious are the effects of differential settlements. Now, how to determine total settlements or how to calculate total settlements and how to explain total settlements determinations. Let us see. Okay. The total settlement is the sum of these three, which may be written as S equal to SI plus SC plus SS. This is equation number 1, where SI is immediate settlement, SC is consolidation settlement, and SS is secondary settlements. Okay. Now see these diagrams. This is the ground levels. Here load is actates, that is uniform distributed loads, Q in kilonewton per meter square, And this diagram is explained for clay soils. If your foundation is constructed in clay soils, so settlement is occur like that. Okay, here center of the footing is more settlements and edges lesser settlements. But in sands, footing is constructed by sand, load is same. See from this figure, at the center of the footing settlement is less, but at the edges settlements occur more. So this is the distribution of vertical displacement of a soil mass under an area carrying a uniform loads. Okay, so how vertical displacement occurs in clay soil as well as sandy soils, how settlements are distributed. Immediate settlement is a combination of elastic compression and plastic deformation without change in volume or water content. Immediate settlement is a combination of elastic compression and plastic deformation without change in volume or water content. This type of settlement develops our construction practices. This type of settlement develops our construction practices. The equation for immediate settlement of a load footing is SI equal to Q times B into 1 minus mu square by EC into IF. So this is the equation is given to determine immediate settlement, where capital Q is nothing but the intensity of contact pressure in kilonewtons. So this in terms of point loads unit. B is width of footing in meters. Mu is Poisson ratio. EC is modulus of elasticity in kilonewton per meter square. EC is modulus of elasticity in kilonewton per meter square. IF is nothing but a influence factors. According to Turskis has suggested a value of Poisson ratio mu equal to 0.3 for sand and 0.4 to 0.43 for clays based on elasticity considerations. Based on the type of soil, we are considering Poisson ratio for calculation of immediate settlements. The influence factor IF depends upon the shape of the loaded given in table below for various shapes of flexible and rigid footings as per the Bowles. The influence factor IF depends upon the shape of the loaded given in table below for various shapes of flexible and rigid footings as per Bowles. So this is the table 1, and these are the shape and these are the IF average value with respect to flexible footing and rigid footing. If your shape of footing is circular type and footing is flexible type, IF value is 0.85 required to consider, and if the footing is rigid, so then IF value is required 0.88 for calculation of immediate settlement. If shape of footing is square and flexible footing, that square footing, so then IF value is 0.95. If the footing is rectangles, based on L by B ratio is 1.5 and your footing is flexible footing, IF value consider 1.2. If rigid footing, IF value consider 1.06. If L by B ratio is equal to 12, Then average value of IF for flexible footing, consider 1.31. If the footing is rigid type, IF value is 1.2. So this value is required to consider IF value in equation or calculation of immediate settlement as per the Bowles from these tables. The influence factors for elastic deformation are not directly applicable to soil for the following reasons. Okay, so there are some reasons are there. Okay, the influence factors for elastic deformation are not directly applicable to soil for the following reasons. Soil does not follow Hooke's law and Young's modulus and Poisson ratio are therefore not constants. First reason is soil does not follow Hooke's law and Young's modulus and Poisson ratio are therefore not constant. Second reason is soil is not homogeneous. Reason is soil is not homogeneous. Its compressibility usually decreasing with the depth. Okay, so second reason is soil is not homogeneous. Its compressibility usually decreasing with the depth. Third reason is there is often a time lag. There is often a time lag between loading and settlement, even apart from the more gradual consolidation affected by the expulsion of waters. There is often a time lag between loading and settlement, even apart from the more gradual consolidation affected by the expulsion of waters. So this is the third reasons for elastic deformations are not directly applicable to the soils. The values of modulus of elasticity may be calculated by for cohesionless soils. EC equal to 2 times 1 plus dr square by QC into QC. For cohesionless soil, EC is considered by using this relationship. EC equal to 2 times 1 plus dr square into QC for loose sand. Okay, where dr is relative density in percentage, QC static cone point resistance in kg per centimeter squares. Okay, QC is static cone point resistance in kg per centimeter square. The ratio EC by QC varies from 2 for very loose sand. The ratio EC by QC varies from 4 for very dense sand. So this is explanation for cohesionless soil, how to calculate EC. For cohesive soils or clayey soils, for normally consolidated clay soils, EC to consider 250 to 500 times Cu. EC is 250 to 500 times Cu is given. Here Cu is the apparent cohesion of undrained soils in kg per centimeter square, that is CS10 parameter. For over consolidated clay soils, EC is given 750 to 1000 times Cu. EC is given 750 to 1000 times Cu, that is elastic modulus of elasticity, to take based on these relationship with respect to these type of consolidated soils, where Cu is unit cohesion under undrained conditions in kilonewton per meter square. Okay, here EC is depending on Cu value. Consolidation settlements. Okay, consolidation settlement. The settlement caused by consolidation is due to slow expulsion of water. The settlement caused by consolidation is due to slow expulsion of water from the pores of clay. The amount of consolidation settlement SC may be calculated by the following equations. The amount of consolidation settlement SC may be calculated by the following equations, that is SC equal to beta times delta H. This is equation number 6, where beta is the coefficient depending on the geometry of the footing and the history of the clay. Beta is depending on the coefficient depending on the geometry of the footing and the history of the clay. The range of values are given in table below for beta value. See table 2, types of clay and beta value is given. If type of clay is very sensitive clays, that is beta value you take 1 to 1.2. If type of soil is normally consolidated clays, beta value is minimum 0.7, maximum 1, that is 0.7 to 1. If over consolidated clays, so then beta value is 0.5 to 0.7 range. If heavily over consolidated clays, beta value is 0.2 to 0.5, minimum 0.2, maximum 0.5. In this range you take the beta value. And delta H is given by the relationship HCC by 1 plus E naught into log base 10 PC plus delta P by PC. This is equation 7. This is the most important equations. In GT1 we have used these equations in consolidation chapters, okay, to calculate settlements. Delta H equal to HCC by 1 plus E naught into log base 10 PC plus delta P by PC, where CC is compression index, and it is calculated based on touch gauge 0.009 times liquid limit minus 10 as per touch gauge for normally consolidated clays, where WL is liquid limits in percentage. Or delta H may be calculated MV into delta P into H naught. Delta H may be calculated by this relation MV into delta P into H naught, where delta H is nothing but a settlement in mm or meters. CC is compression index. E naught is initial void ratio. P naught is overburden pressure in kilonewton per meter square. P naught is overburden pressure in kilonewton per meter square, and it can be calculated depth of the foundation into unit weight of the soils. MV is coefficient of volume compressibility. MV is nothing but a coefficient of volume compressibility in meter square per kilonewtons. So these are the parameters to know to calculate delta H relationship. The phenomena of consolidation occurs in clays because the initial excess pore water pressures cannot be dissipated immediately owing to the low permeability. The theory of one-dimensional consolidations advanced by Terzaghi can be applied to determine the total settlement, total compression or settlement of a clay layer, as well as the time rate of dissipation of excess pore pressures, and hence the time rate of settlements. The settlement computed by this procedure is known as that due to primary compression, since the process of consolidation as being the dissipation of excess pore pressures alone is considered. Excess of dissipation pressures alone is considered. Okay. In the case of foundation of finite dimensions, such as footing resting on a thick bed of clay, lateral strains will occur and the consolidation is no longer one dimensional. Lateral strain effects in the field may be induced non-uniform pore pressures and may become one of the sources of differential settlement of a foundation. Okay, so these are the concept of calculation of immediate settlements. Okay, and what do you mean by secondary settlements? See here, this is a secondary settlements. SC, secondary settlements. See, this is secondary settlements. Okay, settlements due to secondary compression is believed to occur during and mostly after the completion of primary consolidation or complete dissipation of excess pore pressure. A few theories have been advanced to explain this phenomenon known as secondary consolidation and have already been given at the rate of soils. In the case of organic soils and the miscellaneous soils, the secondary compression is comparable to the primary compression. In the case of all other soils, secondary settlement is considered insignificant. Further discussions of the concept of secondary settlements being of an advanced nature is outside the scope of the present work, and this secondary settlement still is not confirmed, but it is under progress to finalize secondary settlements. Okay, so now we have explained about total settlement calculations. Okay, next, Bureau of Indian Standards specification for total and differential settlements of footings and rafts. Here, let us see differential settlements. Let us see differential settlements. Okay. The difference of settlement between two adjacent column foundations is commonly termed differential settlement. Definition of differential settlement is the difference of settlement between two adjacent column foundations is commonly termed differential settlement, and this may cause damage to the structure when it exceeds certain values. This may cause damage to the structure when it exceeds certain values. So that's why differential settlement is the most important parameters to calculate the settlement in the building foundations. Don't neglect this differential settlement parameters. Okay. Skempton and MacDonald have divided damage from settlement into three categories. Skempton and MacDonald have divided damage from settlement into three categories. One is structural damage, which involves only the frame. Structural damage which involves only the frame. Second damage, architectural damage. Architectural damage involving only the panel walls, floors or finishes, etc. Okay. Architectural damage involving only the panels, walls, floors or finishes. So these are comes under architectural damage. Combined structural and architectural damages. Third category is combined structural and architectural damages. So these are the three damages are classified by Skempton and MacDonald's. Indian Standard Code for Building, that is BIS design, which deals with the issue, is as per IS 1904-1966. It suggests that for most of the ordinary concrete structures, such as office building, flats and factories, differential settlements may be permissible such that the angular distortion of the frame of the building does not exceed 1 by 250 normally and 1 by 1000, where it is particularly designed to avoid any kind of damage. Okay, as per the Indian standard, it does not exceed 1 by 250 normally and 1 by 1000 values, okay, based on kind of damage. The following table 3 shows the total settlement and differential settlement as per BIS codes. It's permissible settlements. Okay, these are the up to these type of settlements. This range is permissible. If it exceeds, you redesign the foundations. Let us see table 3. Permissible settlement as per IS codes. If the soil is sandy soils, permissible total settlement is considered if the footing is isolated types, if the maximum settlement is 4 cm. If the footing is raft foundations, so maximum settlement is minimum 4 to maximum 6.5 centimeters. If the differential settlements, so this is for total settlement. If the permissible differential settlement for isolated footings 2.5 centimeters and for raft foundations 2.5 centimeters. If foundation is designed and constructed in clay soils, so total settlement is 6.5 centimeter. Up to 6.5 centimeter it is permitted. We are not bothering about the settlements. If the footing is raft foundations, so then minimum 6.5 to maximum 10 centimeter. If the raft foundations, so no problem. If it exceeds the 10 centimeter, redesign the foundations. For differential settlements, if isolated footing 4 centimeter is maximum, and for raft foundations, so differential settlement is 4 centimeters. So these are the values, minimum and maximum. Differential settlements may sometimes be theoretically computed by calculating the settlements at various points of structures, such as center, corner, lightest, heaviest, column, locations, etc. Okay, we are calculating differential settlements at various points of structure such as center, corner, lightest and heaviest column locations, etc. So after the calculation of the differential settlements, you compare as per the table 3 based on the type of soil. Then if it is exceed, redesign. If it is less than permissible settlements, it is safer sites. Okay, so these are the references are referred for session 8 of foundation settlement explanations. These are the textbooks with the different authors, some IS codes, etc. are referred. Thank you one and all. Next class I will be continue.